One evening in October of 1958, there were two black boys and some white girls and boys playing in a vacant lot in Monroe. And on toward evening, a kissing game ensued. Someone kissed someone.
Well, nobody had seen it, but the girl just had made a casual remark to her mother that she had kissed Hanover. And then the mother got all excited and started scrubbing her face, and called her father, and he threatened to kill him, go kill him, and got his shotgun.
The police went looking for them too. They found the two little boys, arrested them, beat them, locked them in the basement of the jail for 6 days without being able to see their parents or talk to an attorney. Terrified them. It so happened that Halloween, it was October 28th, and then on Halloween the police officers put on sheets and came down into the basement of the jail where the children were being held, thinking it would be real funny to terrify them, because the children knew that the Klan was outside calling for their blood.
And they had to teach these boys early that they just couldn't expect to cross the color line in sex.
There were two separate hearings, one for the white families and one for the black boys. And then the local judge sentenced the boys to reform school for a period not to exceed their 21st birthday. Now, they were 8 and 10 years old. He turned into kind of a one-man press office for the kissing case, and he managed to get this out onto the front pages of newspapers all over the world. The bad publicity really forced Hodges to intervene and release the boys after only 4 months. Hodges made a big show of how they had now been rehabilitated. One of the important things about the kissing case is that it brings Rob to a kind of national and even international recognition.
Then there was the case of Mrs. Reed, Mary Ruth Reed. She was, I think, 7 or 8 months pregnant. And this white man, came to her house, and he tried to get her to go to bed with him, and she resisted, and he beat her, started attacking her.
The struggle went into the field between two houses, and her white neighbor saw Medlin beating her and pulling at her clothing and ran out. She and her children were fighting with him, and the white woman came out, and she saw what had happened, and he eventually left without having raped her, but he had tried.
So what had happened was that during this time, some men in the community, this woman also had some brothers, had 3 or 4 brothers, and the men in our guard said that we should kill this man.
Rob said, no, let's let the law handle it. So, and Rob really believed in the law during those days.
They brought this man, Louis Medlin, the white man, brought his wife and set him at his side, all during the time the trial was on it. His lawyer got up and said, Judge, Your Honor, this man is not guilty, that he was just drinking, having a little fun. Said, you see this woman sitting here at his side? This is the pure flower of life, God's greatest gift to man, this white woman. And do you think that he would leave this pure flower of life for that? And so, that was the end of the trial.
They found him not guilty and dismissed the case. At that point, every black woman in the courtroom was in tears and angry and ready to do something. And they took the accuser out the back door. They took them out the back door, and when we all met down where Rob was, and he saw what our condition was and how, and one woman said, these people have declared open season on black women. What are you going to say now? What are we going to do now? And that's when he made that statement.
I made a statement that if the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution cannot be enforced in this social jungle called Dixie, it is time that Negroes must defend themselves, even if it is necessary to resort to violence. That there is no law here, and there is no need to take the white attackers to the courts because they will be freed, and that the federal government is not coming to the aid of people who are oppressed, and it is time for Negro men to stand up and be men, and that if it's necessary for us to die, we must be willing to die. If it's necessary for us to kill, we must be willing to kill.
I think it's fair to say that both the NAACP, SCLC, the orthodox civil rights movement of the time, depended so heavily on white, northern, liberal support that they're fearful that embracing Williams or supporting Williams means immediately losing that support.
I wasn't going to crawl to try to appease and accommodate white people who were giving money, contributing money, that it was a matter of human dignity. So they said I was suspended for 6 months. The chapter said, well, if he's suspended for 6 months, then we will appoint his wife as the president of the branch, and that he will run the branch through his wife.
So we went uptown with Rob, and went to Oasis, and went in there and sat down, and people started moving things off the counter and looking at us like we were something out of space. They had a little hole there, I call a hole in the wall, where black people went to get served and walk out on the street, you know.
Coming down the street in town, we'd be coming down in line, in the file, and they would start locking the doors of these different lunch counters, closing down altogether. Just to declare business closed until we left. Strong group of people started forming on the streets, and they said I should be killed.
(1961) was the 4th summer in a row that Robert Williams and the NAACP in Monroe had tried to integrate the swimming pools. So they kept showing up the pool with their shorts and their towels, and they did it over and over again. And one time they went out there and they're standing around with their signs, protesting the fact that that this pool is supported by tax funds and they're not permitted to use it. And people shot at them.